Alright, welcome to part 2 of identifying maximums and minimums, and here we're going to look at a function and determine where the maximum and minimum points are. For the first example, it says use the graph of the function below to find the following. Find the minimum values at all values of f. Okay, so all values at which f has a minimum value. So we're going to look at our minimums right here. So where they are the lowest points. So here would be our minimums. Let's use different colors so we can see them. Can't match the graph, can't be too light. Here we go. These 2 points. Okay, so this would be -4, -3. And this would be 2, -3. And I got those ordered pairs just from my graph. I looked at the point and I went to their ordered pair. So when we look back at all values of f which has a local maximum, or local minimum, excuse me, all values of which f. So when we think about a function, we need to think about it as f of x or g of x or h of x equals our rule. Okay? In this case, it's going to be something x cubed. Well, when we look at all of the values at which x has a local, of which f has a local minimum, all of the values of f, well, if I think about it as inputs and outputs, all of the values means I'm looking at my inputs. Okay? So all values at which f, so the long one, this means we're looking at the inputs. Okay, and our inputs are -4 and 2. And then if we look at all the local values of f, just what f is, okay? Not all the values at which, just what happens when I look at the values of f. So f of x is going to give me, when I look at all the values after I put x in, I'm going to get the values for f. So these are going to be my outputs. Okay, so f of x is my outputs, and then x is my inputs. Let's change that to f of x for all values of x. So my outputs now are going to be -3. Oh, and it's just -3 again. So my minimum is -3. So my minimums are -4, -3, and 2, -3. Let's look at another one. Says use the graph of the function below to find the following. Find the maximum values of g. Find all the values at which maximum g has a maximum value. So here we're looking at f of x, excuse me, g of x for all values of x. Okay, so for all values of x, well, g of x is going to be my output. All values of x are going to be my input. Okay, so all values of g, my output, excuse me. All values at which g, so anytime g has a value, x, it's going to be my input. Alright, so let's find our ordered pairs, excuse me. The maximum value is going to be the highest. See how these have 2 high points, but it's got to be the absolute highest, which is going to be right here, which is at -2, 3. So my input, or excuse me, first it asks for the output. So the output was 3. My input was -2. So my local maximum is -2, 3. So just remember when we're going through these, to go through this process, if you really need to think of it this way, the long sentence is X, the short sentence is Y. That's the shortcut. But if you really want to know it, g of x for all values of x, the g of x is the output, the all values of x is the input. Good luck.